Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're rediving deep into a super common check engine light code that pops up on a lot of. So, what is the EVAP system anyway? Think of it as your car's way of being environmentally friendly. It captures gasoline vapors from your fuel tank and instead of releasing them into the atmosphere, it stores them in a charcoal canister. When the engine is running under the right conditions, a valve opens to pull these vapors into the engine to be burned off. That valve is our main suspect today. The purge valve, also called the purge solenoid. The P0441 code specifically means the engine's computer, the ECM, tried to open that purge valve, but it didn't see the expected change in airflow or vacuum. Essentially, the computer is saying, hey, I opened the door, but nobody came through. This can happen for a few reasons. The valve is stuck closed and not opening at all. It's stuck open when it should be closed, or there's a blockage somewhere in the hoses. Most of the time, though, it's a faulty purge valve that's stuck shut. Alright, let's get our hands dirty and find this thing. On most modern Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler models, especially those with engines like the 3.6-liter Pentastar, the purge solenoid is conveniently located right on top or on the side of the engine, near the intake manifold. Look for a small, usually black, plastic component with a couple of hoses and an electrical connector attached to it. It's typically mounted on a bracket or directly onto the intake. It's one of the easier components to access, which is great news for us. One hose will run from the charcoal canister, and the other will go directly into the intake manifold. Now, for the diagnosis, the best way to be 100% sure the valve is the problem is by using a bidirectional scan tool. This is a scanner that can not only read codes, but also send commands to your car's components. If you have one, navigate to the EVAP system tests, or active tests. You should find an option to command the purge solenoid open and closed. With the engine running at idle, the purge valve should be closed. It only opens under specific driving conditions. Using your scan tool, command the valve to open maybe 50% or more. When you do this, you should hear a noticeable change in the engine's idle. It might stumble or run a little rough because you're introducing a controlled vacuum leak. You should also hear a clicking sound from the solenoid itself as it opens. If you command it open and hear nothing, and the engine idle doesn't change one bit, you've found your culprit. The valve is not opening. What if you don't have a fancy scan tool? No problem. You can still do a pretty reliable test. First, with the engine off, disconnect the hose that goes from the purge valve to the intake manifold. Now, try to blow through the valve from the inlet side. You shouldn't be able to. It's a normally closed valve. If you can blow through it, it's stuck open, which can also sometimes cause a P0441, though it more commonly triggers other lean or EVAP leak codes. Next, you can test the electrical side. Unplug the connector and check for two things. First, use a multimeter set to DC volts. With the key on and the engine off, one of the pins in the connector should have battery voltage. The other pin is the ground, which the computer controls. If you're missing that voltage, you have a wiring or a fuse issue to track down. If the power is good, you can test the solenoid's internal coil. Set your multimeter to OEMs and measure the resistance across the two pins on the solenoid itself. You should get a reading, usually somewhere between 15 and 30 ohms. If it reads open or has infinite resistance, the coil inside is broken and the solenoid is dead. So, you've confirmed the purge solenoid is bad. The fix is simple. Replacement. Start by disconnecting the negative battery terminal. It's always a good safety practice. Then, unplug the electrical connector. There's usually a small tab you need to press. After that, deal with the hoses. They can be on with simple spring clamps or quick disconnect fittings. For spring clamps, just use pliers to squeeze the tabs and slide the clamp back. For quick disconnects, you'll press a tab or use a special tool to release them. As old plastic can become brittle once the hoses and connector are off. The solenoid is usually held on by one or two small bolts, maybe at 10 millimeters or 8 millimeters. Remove the bolts, and the old solenoid comes right off. Installation is the exact reverse of removal. Bolt the new solenoid in place, reconnect the hoses securely, and plug in the electrical connector until it clicks. Finally, reconnect your battery. Once everything is back together, start the car. You might want to use your scan tool to clear the P0441 code. If you don't have one, the check engine light should turn off on its own after a few drive cycles. Once the computer has run its internal tests and confirmed the EVAP system is working correctly. And that's it. You've just diagnosed and fixed a P0441 code yourself. You've saved money and learned a valuable skill. It's one of those repairs that seems intimidating because of the check engine light, but is actually very beginner-friendly. I hope this guide was helpful for you. If you tackled this job or have any questions, drop a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video useful, and subscribe for more DIY car repair videos just like this one.